Coach Day. Today's notes are going to be over solving quadratic equations on the calculator. So you will need your calculator app, or if you have a physical calculator at home, you can use that. I'm going to use the calculator app to show my explanations because everybody can download this. The link is in the classwork file. You can download it to your Chromebook. So let's get started. Now, our first example in our notes says, solve the quadratic equation by factoring. Well, factoring, let's use the x method. So, big X, right, on the top is a times c. So it's going to be 1 times negative 6, which is negative 6. Our b value here is positive 5. So we need to factor out negative 6, see what adds up to positive 5. Excuse me. Now, I multiplied together to get a negative, so I know one of these will be negative. They added together to get a positive, so the bigger number is going to be positive. So let's make the smaller number negative, and let's add. Negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So those are my factors. Negative 1 on this side, positive 6 on this side. Put them both over our a value, which in this case was 1. See if you can simplify a fraction. We cannot, so the bottom number gets our letter, and these are the factors. We've got x minus 1 and x plus 6. Now, it says solve the equation by factoring. Well, I got the factors, but to solve it, there's just one additional step. Whenever you see the word solve, you need to set the factors equal to 0. So, x minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 6 equals 0. To get rid of that minus 1, we add 1, and so we get x equals positive 1. To get rid of plus 6, we subtract 6, and we get x is equal to negative 6. Just remember, if it says factor, what you need to do is find the factors. If it says solve, the additional step is set both factors equal to 0 and solve it. Now, the x-intercepts of a graph are where the graph crosses the x-axis. Now, because the x-axis is a horizontal line, it is a special case with the equation y equals 0. Now, what we're going to learn today through the notes and through practicing on the calculator is that the x-intercepts will match up with our solutions. So let's go over the steps on finding the x-intercepts on the function. The first thing you'll have to do is type your equation into y equals. So I'm going to do this side by side so you can see both. First, on your calculator, you're going to have to go to the y equals menu. So boom, hit y equals. From this menu, you're going to type in your quadratic. So it says x squared. Sorry, I need to move this. There we go. That's a good spot. So we've got x squared plus 5x minus 6. I'm just taking that quadratic, taking this quadratic and putting it in the calculator in y equals. Now, the next step, we need to plot our x-intercept. So what we're going to have to do is plug in on our second equation just y equals 0. So go down 1, go to y2, and just type in 0. Because remember, the equation y equals 0 is going to match up with our x-axis. After that, hit graph. All right, I'm just going through all the steps. So boom, hit graph. Now, look at the graph. We've got the blue line doing this, red line going this. If we go to second trace calc, we can find out where they intersect. So, second trace, this is our calculate menu. and we need to go to number 5 where it says intersect. So go down to number 5, intersect, boom. When you do that, this menu pops up, it says first curve, and it asks a question. So what you want to do is you want to use the left and right arrows to get really close to their intersection points. So I'm going to use left and right arrow. I'm going to do this one here on the right first. So my first curve is on the blue line. I'm going to push enter. It's going to ask second curve, which will go to the red line. That's really close to that point. Push enter, and then it asks yes. Push enter one more time. And we get the intersection of 1, 0. So let's write that down. The x-intercept is at 1, 0. Now you're going to do the same thing. Go through your second trace menu, and we're going to find the intersection over here. So second trace, go down to intersect, and then we're going to move the arrow all the way to the left. Keep going. I still don't see it. There it is. Now we're getting close. And it doesn't have to be exact, it just needs to be really close to this second intersection, okay? When you're really close, push enter. It'll ask you second curve, push enter, and then when it says yes, push enter one more time. And we got an other intersection at -6, 0. That's the first page of the notes. Now let's go to the second page. Ask the question, how do the solutions to example 1 in the x-intercepts and z equal to compare? So let's look at example 1. We had x equals 1 and x equals -6. And at their intersections, we had x at, well, we can see 1 already. The x value there is at -6 and the other one was at +1. So they are the same. Now, we're going to write down this anagram, ROXS, R-O-X-S. Here's what it stands for. The R stands for roots. Okay? If it asks for the roots, we're asking for the solution. If it says the zeros, that is also asking for the solutions, because another name for 0 would be the x-intercept. Or if it just plain asks you for the solutions. So, remember this term, ROXS, and the anagram stands for roots, zeros, x-intercepts, or solutions. All of those means you're basically looking just to see where it's going to cross the x-axis. I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to continue on the next one.